Hi, everybody. I am super excited about our video today. So we are going to be delving into the world of generative AI. So have you ever thought to yourself, oh, there's so much information out there about ChatGPT, about generative AI. I've started to play with it. I feel a little guilty about some of the things that I'm doing with it. I don't know what is the correct usage of it. So that's what we're going to talk today is sort of how to think about this almost at an intellectual level. I have with me today my very good friend, Dr. Cynthia Meyersburg, who is a lecturer at the Harvard. Oh, you know what, Cynthia? I'm going to let you tell us where you're a lecturer so that we can get it right.
Okay, so I'm a lecturer for the Division of Continuing Education at Harvard University.
Awesome. So I think that should tell us she's a smarty pants. So, but I know her on a personal level because I'm fun that way. And when I was talking to Cynthia a little earlier this year, she was telling me something that she told her students about how to contextualize the usage of AI and how to integrate it into their thinking. And I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And so I asked her to join me to share it with me here and to share it with all of you.
So what I tell them is that if you're using generative AI, you really want to think about what you do and don't outsource. So for instance, we co-evolved with dogs. I mean, we emerged as a species maybe 300,000 years ago, but we really co-evolved with dogs. So dogs, they're the first domesticated animal. We outsourced during the last ice age, which I guess technically we're still in, but during the last ice age, we outsourced to them smelling, right? They smell. They also give us an alarm if there were predators nearby. Maybe they help us with some other things, but we outsourced that to them and we held on to cognition for ourselves and we co-evolved. So how they evolved changed and how we evolved changed. And we're in a similar position, I suspect, with AI. So there are things that I'm perfectly happy to outsource. So for me, I'm perfectly happy. I don't have a good sense of direction to start with. I don't mind the notion of outsourcing directions. Like I use Waze all the time. Like I'm perfectly happy to outsource to something else my sense of direction. I'm perfectly happy to outsource doing basic arithmetic. I don't mind outsourcing those things, but there are things that you really want to be thoughtful about whether or not you're willing to outsource them. There are things I think we really shouldn't outsource, and things in particular I don't want to outsource. I don't want to outsource my critical thinking skills. I don't want to outsource my creativity, and I certainly don't want to outsource my ethical decisions, my sense of right and wrong, and what is and isn't right. And those are things I think that as a species we really need to be thoughtful about right now. Like what do and don't we want to outsource?
That's such a thoughtful way of putting it. I have fully embraced um, generative AI. It certainly has gone from something that came out of nowhere to being something that is very much a part of our day-to-day workflows. But the thing that I like to think about and remind my team and talk about whenever I talk about this to others is that what we have innately, we have the brilliance that you can sprinkle on top because at its core, generative AI is mediocre, right? It is always thinking sort of the next word. What is the next logical word based on what it looks at from this giant pool of data that's out there, right? But that means it's looking at the average, which means it's looking at it's mediocre, right?
Mm.
So that to me has been the way that I think about it is it's you always have sort of the brilliance that is meant to sort of shape the words, whereas like help you yeah, maybe it helps you, and this certainly isn't for your class because we know that your class, you're telling people, "No, not for my class,"
Yeah.
right? But as people within their organizations are thinking about it, maybe is generative AI gonna help you come up with ideas for, what you might write about? Is it even gonna help you come up with a basic structure of how you structure your arguments, et cetera, et cetera? Is that sort of the way that you're thinking about it?
So, oh, that's such a good question. Um, hmm. So I don't want them to be dependent on it, but I accept at the same time that when it first became possible to Google things, to look up information,
Mhm.
We're like, oh, students need to not do that. And it turns out that we have less memory for facts now, but better memory for where to find facts. Uh,
Mm.
so it has already changed some of how we deal with information and how we think. I We're just at the cusp right now. So we're just I mean, we're at the top where the roller coaster's going, but it's not clear yet how it's all going to land. What I really want is for people to be very thoughtful and not to be dependent, right? You don't want to be dependent on AI for things you don't want to be dependent on AI for, and you don't want to. There are things that you want to hold on to for yourself. So I like the idea of sprinkling brilliance on. I like that.
Cynthia, I want to thank you so much for being so generous with your time today to chat with me about this really, really interesting topic. And I'm sure we could spend a lot more time even talking about it. But I wanted to thank you, and hopefully you'll join me again to talk about something else.
I would love to. It's really good to see you. Have a wonderful day.